Hey, brand builder, Rory Vaden here. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this interview. As always, it's our honor to provide it to you for free. And wanted to let you know there's no big sales pitch or anything coming at the end. However, if you are someone who is looking to build and monetize your personal brand, we would love to talk to you and get to know you a little bit and hear about some of your dreams and visions and share with you a little bit about what we're up to see if we might be a fit. So if you're interested in a free strategy call with someone from our team, we would love to hear from you. You can do that at brandbuildersgroup.com/podcall, brandbuildersgroup.com/podcall. We hope to talk to you soon.
Brendan Kane was this week's appearance guest on the Influential Personal Brand Podcast. Right now, myself and our CEO, Amanda Johns Vaden, are going to be breaking down this interview, which was, whoa, it was awesome. I loved it. This is one of probably the most where I learned the most personally, AJ. So anyways,
welcome. Very heavy content episode where you will undoubtedly, no matter what level you're at, learn something. It is really good.
Yeah, totally. And there was like a few things that it changed my mind on, and that there were some things that were very different than I expected. And I guess I'll start with that. So my first takeaway was like really early on, where I was kind of joking with him, like, yeah, so how do you hit 1 million followers, which he has, which, is kind of the premise of his first book, was how he did it. And I was kind of saying it tongue in cheek, like, yeah, what's the secret? And he just very approached it very systematically. He's like, yes, there are 4 ways to hit 1 million followers. And just started like rattling through them. And I was like, whoa. And so, one is organic and algorithms and playing that game, which is, I think, what most people think of. And the thing about that I loved that he just nailed was he was like, look, there is not any sort of slant or favoritism or politicalness to the content. There's no way they could keep up with all of the content creators in the world of what they're saying. He said it is completely objective. It's completely democratized based on one thing. Does your content keep people watching? Yes or no? That's it. Like, it is a very straightforward, fair metric. Whether you like it or not doesn't matter, but it's like, does your content hold people's attention? Yes or no? If yes, it will get shown to more people. If no, it will not get shown to more people. And that was really like good to hear. But then he also said giveaways. Giveaways are a huge way that people get lots of followers. Now, they often get, the question is, do you get the right followers? And people will unfollow, but giveaways work. And we haven't heard anybody really talk about the power of doing giveaways on social. And then influencers and doing trade for share, like you do a post for me, I do a post for you. And then paid, but specifically with paid, and this is the thing that I want to highlight, was, we're really been setting the stage to do some paid campaigns, but he said specifically for followers, I would not run paid ads if the goal is to get more followers. He was saying I would do promoted posts and I would pay meme accounts to do a post. That's how you'll get the most followers, is by being tagged in someone else's post, which is like, duh, that's true. Like, we know that organically, but don't think of that as like basically a brand deal. Like, go pay people with lots of followers to tag you in their posts. Like, that's a much smarter way to go about doing it. So anyways, that's I know that's a lot, but those were good things and hit me hard.
I'm sorry, was that all one takeaway?
That was all one takeaway.
Or are those all?
that was one 4-part takeaway.
Yeah. So yeah, it was, my first one was very similar to that. And it was a kind of around that question. It's like, how would you grow your following? Right. And I think you asked that in the very beginning. And it's like, if I had money at all, I would be using it to build growth. But building your audience is a long-term play. Right. And so it's like, you've got to be doing it in a few different ways. And so the kind of thing that I highlighted was harnessing the traffic of a different source, right? It's go where the traffic is. And if your platform doesn't have the traffic, then how do you get your content on a platform that's got a lot of traffic, right? And I think there's just a lot to that. And I think the one thing that came up to my mind and all of these different interviews is I've kind of been adverse to like getting on TikTok because it's not for me. But that's where tons of our customers and consumers are. And Rory's like, babe, we got to get on TikTok. I'm like, you get on TikTok. But it's kind of like one of those things. It's like where you got to go where the traffic is, and the traffic is on TikTok. So it's like, then how do you use that to harness all of these different things? And so I think that was like the big one for me. It's not just go to the platform that you prefer to consume content, which is something we just picked up from the Jasmine Star episode. You should go check it out. But it's like, have a preferred platform in which you create, and you need to create where your customers are. So where are the customers? Where is the traffic? And I just, it's like TikTok just, laps YouTube for most time spent on any platform. And it's like, it's kind of undeniable. It's no longer should I, it's like, no, you need to, but it's in an effort to grow your following. And so I thought that was really good. And it just connected a few dots for me. So that would be my first one. So you just have to go where the traffic is.
Yeah. And that was my second takeaway was just talking about that, which is, in our high traffic strategies event, we teach it. That's the kind of the central premise of the whole event is find an existing audience and figure out how to get in front of them. But, here he was referring to it as like content distribution, which is a little different from going, okay, search engine optimization is like, there's people searching this, I want to get in front of them, versus he's kind of going, yeah, just get your content distributed to somebody who has an audience. And I'll tell you, one of the things that our team immediately did after this episode, or after the interview, was we immediately started researching meme accounts on Instagram. So for our topical areas, we immediately started going, okay, we need to go identify. And just so you know, if you haven't listened to the episode, a meme account is an account that it's themed. So it's not like a person's account, like a Rory Vaden or an AJ Vaden. It's not a company account like a Brand Builders Group. It's like, like the one that came up a couple times was the Good Quote. And that's a huge account. It's got millions of followers, and it's all just like inspirational quotes. And then, you can pay a truckload of money, and they'll, for certain people, they'll do promotional posts. But basically this is, do you know what those accounts are? And those accounts exist for the purpose of doing what we're talking about here. Like, that is their business model, is to find great content and build an audience around it so that people who are interested in that topic will come and pay them to do those posts. And just like, in my mind, that was just a big giant disconnect, and just got super clear and went immediate into action mode. So that was my second takeaway. AJ, what was your second one?
Mine one was the content itself, and asking yourself, is your content holding someone's attention? Because at the end of the day, that's the only care of the platform is, can you keep people on the platform? So if you want to win, it's like, are people staying in tune with your content? Is your content holding attention? And then I love this because I thought he shared some really amazing like little stats, and said one of the big ahas we had was the 28 seconds of content versus the 21-second hold. And that's like a very, like, you're talking about 7 seconds, right? This isn't like 3 minutes or 5. No, 7 seconds. An attention span of like, how do you go from this to this? And if you can't keep people's attention for 21 seconds, you will lose. And so to that, I go, wow, that's really amazing. And it's like, and I thought to myself, it's like, how much content can you really teach in 21 or 28 seconds? And the answer to that is like none, pretty much none, but you could tell a really good, quick story. And I think those are like, those kind of like, what are you doing in those first, let's just call it 30 seconds to get someone latched, to get someone hooked? And I loved what he said. It's not about super high production value. It's not about like tons and tons of content. In fact, the content doesn't even have to be that great, but it's got to have an emotional tug, right? You got to be pulling out those heartstrings. So it needs to have a good story, and it needs to be something that can suck someone in really, really quickly. And so it's like, how are you starting all of your videos? And it's like, I know for a while we've since done away with this, but it's like we had all these like bumpers that were 7 seconds. And I was like, gosh, we probably were losing tons of people before they got to the end of the bumper. And so it's just, to me, it's going back in. It's not about high production value. It's about the realness. It's about the stories. And then he talked about a couple different accounts to go and follow. One of them he said was the Dodo, but that I actually thought about Jay Shetty's Instagram account, because Jay Shetty's Instagram account is like every single time I watch one of those little videos he shares, I'm like, heart, love, like, so good, so funny. But here's the thing. It's like, he didn't produce probably 90% of those, right? That's already existing found content. But it's like, I love that account because they're all inspirational, motivational, like heart tug stories. And they're really short and they're quick, of someone who hasn't seen a loved one in like 21 months because of COVID, or, you know, a dad coming home from, you know, overseas and surprising his kids at graduation. And it's like, I love all of them. And I thought, well, he didn't film any of these. And like, when I listened to this, that was what dawned on me. It's like, you don't even have to be the creator of a lot of really good content to build your following, but you need to be a curator of really good content. So there's some that's created and there's some that's curated. How can you make a combo of both?
Yeah, that case study he was using was so that I think is from Alex Stemp, where he said one video got 90 million views, the other got 5 million views, and the difference was a 7-second watch time. So it's like that, even making an incremental improvement in the watch time of 7 seconds can be the difference between 5 million views and 90 million views.
Yeah.
And that, you know, this was my third takeaway too, AJ. I mean, just moving people emotionally. It's got to be what moves your audience emotionally. Like, it's that inspiring, or, you know, and even the angry stuff. I mean, like, I don't know that you want to like do stuff that makes people angry, but if you think about it, it's like, why does the very political content get so much reach on social media? It's not because the platforms are going, yeah, let's put this political content in front of people. It's saying people are engaging with this, they're reacting to it, they're responding to it. So the things that activate our human emotions, the things that make us laugh, the things that make us cry, the things that make us mad, the things that make us sad, the things that make us inspired or ambitious, like those are the things that people watch, and they watch it all the way through, and they share it and they comment on it and they engage with it. And so you got to find a way to make your content more emotional. It's got to be more captivating, and just understanding these kind of fundamental things. And like, you know, you mentioned the word, AJ, it's like, if you don't know how to do that on purpose, just tell a story. Like, stories inherently keep us hooked because we want to know how the story ends. So just really, really good stuff. And you know, you also said this, like, it's not the quality of the production that matters. It's just the quality of the storytelling.
Right.
That's the part. So I loved it. So what was
But
your
I have
third
one?
one?
Yeah. So mine is just kind of like the summary of like the 3 things to be asking yourself, which I thought were just really simple and powerful. It's like, 1, how are you stopping the scroll? So what are you doing to make someone go, I need to watch that, I need to read that, I need to look at that? So question number 1, how are you stopping the scroll? Question number 2, how are you holding their attention? Right? So what is it that's going to pull at those heartstrings and suck them in? We're like, I just got to see what happens here. Right? So what are you doing to stop the scroll? What are you doing to hold their attention? And then how are you going to monetize that attention? Right? So if this is a part of your business, it's like, what is the next step? Right? So it's like, is the next step just a follow me? Is it subscribe to something? But it's like, how are you using that to grow your audience and to monetize your business? So just again, it's like, how are you going to stop the scroll? How are you going to keep their attention? And then how are you going to monetize it?
Simple stuff, but it works. It really, really, really powerful interview. I was totally impressed with Brendan, and he clearly lives in the world all day, every day.
It's very content rich. It's really, really good with, I think, really actionable, like, okay, that's what you do. That's how much you spend. And then also some really good quick case studies that really back it up. It was really good.
Love it. I love it. So go listen to it. Listen to all the episodes. Dang it. They're all really good. And listen to them for a long time and then share them with everyone you know and be like,
at least 30 seconds.
At least 30 seconds, 27 seconds worth. Be like, this podcast is amazing. So we are grateful for you. We love doing the show. We love reading your comments over on iTunes and seeing all the testimonials and stuff. So make sure you drop us one of those if you haven't yet, and keep coming back. Come back next week, and we're going to be talking about Jeff Goins and being an amazing writer and finding your brilliant idea. So we'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.